Hi everybody! Long time no see. Welcome back to a Lazy Sunday podcast. My name is Kay. I am your host here. I'm also the dyer behind Lazy Sunday Yarns. All my socials and my shop will be linked below, along with a link to anything I mention here on the podcast. So I guess after a long time, grab your drink, grab your knitting, get cozy, and let's get started. Hi! See if I can remember how to do this. I have no notes for today, so it might be incredibly rambled. So apologies in advance for that, but you all seem to like my ramblings, so hopefully it all goes well. I've got some life updates for you, a little bit of an introduction to a newbie, and yeah, I guess we'll just get going. I haven't got a lot of knitting to show you because, quite frankly, the reason I haven't podcasted in so long is my knitting mojo just went down the toilet. Just haven't had it in me. I've been so busy with just like work, and the world opened back up again, which has meant a lot of friends and family gatherings, which has been totally needed and totally just needed is the word. It's been a lot. It was a long year and a half there, and having things sort of open back up again and be able to see and hug people cautiously again is so lovely, and just cannot describe how it feels. I'm sure you all know how it feels though, because we're all in the same boat, aren't we? If there's one thing COVID has done, is I think it's helped to unify a lot of people, because we all went through it. We all went through it in our own way, but we all experienced the same thing at the same time. And there's not often, I don't think, in my life, there's never been anything like that, really. We all went through it at the same time, and that doesn't happen very often on a worldwide scope, does it? So yeah, I am just drinking regular old tea today because I am tired after a long couple of, like, I think it's been nearly 2 months since I spoke to you last, and she is exhausted. So I'm drinking just bog standard tea with my soy milk, and I'm drinking that, oops, you're on this side now, out of my Frida Kahlo cup that I got from, oh my gosh, what's it called? This is why we make show notes, isn't it, really? Thunder Egg in Manchester. I bought from that shop there. It was a little expensive, but like the little cockatoo on the top. Cockatoo? I think. I'm sure you'll all correct me if it's not a cockatoo. Some little, like a little leopard. On the other side is, try not to spill the tea, she's left-handed. It's a little monkey, and then right in the centre is Frida Kahlo. And to be honest, this is usually a coffee mug and not a tea mug, but it's nice and I spent too much money on it, so I'm showing it off to you all. So that's just a normal tea. I guess we'll jump straight into the singular FO that I have, and it's so teeny tiny that I don't think it should really count as an FO. I mentioned on the last episode, I believe, that I have a little niece on the way. Will be my 4th niece, and I'm super duper excited, and it's about the only knitting I've really been able to do because of my excitement. So I'm making a little set. I think I might have made too small a size, but I don't care, it's cute and we'll like it. This little frilly card. Do you see how small this is? It's so tiny. Now Georgina tends to have little teeny babies. So, or at least my two twin nieces were teeny tiny, so I'm hoping she'll fit in this at least for a little bit, even if it's just for a day and one photo, I don't care. I did not attempt to match the colours, so I went the opposite with it. I just sort of went as mismatched as possible, but I'm really pleased with it. The wool that I've used is James Brett Driftwood, and I've used that in. James Brett very annoyingly don't name their colours, they use numbers, which I don't enjoy. I prefer like a catchy name, like you get for like lipsticks and things. So this is shade DW06, and that's the ball band there, if you can see. And to go with that, I'm out of practice, so you're going to get a lot of what was it called, that kind of gist. To go, I'm using a, this was a Stylecraft Bambino pattern. I showed it in the last podcast, I will link it below. And then I attempted to use a Stylecraft Wondersoft pattern for some leggings. I realised that the smallest size in those leggings were too big to match the cardigan, so I found another pattern. I forget what the pattern's called, but there's a couple different variations on it, and it's a really, really nice pattern. I highly recommend, and I will link that below as well. Again, if it's a Ravelry pattern, I will not link to, because some people have issues with Ravelry, but I will name the pattern and the designer below, so if you want to go onto Ravelry and find it, you can find it through your own. But I'm not going to direct anyone to anything that might hurt them. So these are the little leggings. Teeny, teeny, tiny. So how it works is, I'm still working on them. How it works is you fold it in like this. And so that's one leg. And I'm working on the other leg now. It's not long to go.
Hey! Stop that. I want you to stay in here, but you can't stay in here if you keep attacking my wicker basket. Okay?
I'm trying to leave Finn in the room while I podcast for a change, because I love him and I don't like locking him in the kitchen to talk to you all, and I'm sure you all want to hear him bound about. I wonder if he'll let me pick him up. Come here, baby. Here's my baby. He's molting at the minute, so you might have just seen that cloud of fur. And he's feeling very sorry for himself, which you will all be explained later. But he's, I really want to leave him in here while I podcast if I can. And he's being a very good boy recently, so I'm trying it out today. Yeah? Okay, you can get down now. So I'm making that little set. So as you can see on here, that it's not ribbing, it's moss stitch. So I've gone for a moss stitch, a double moss stitch it is, in the trousers, and there is a little bit of short row shaping for the big baby booty. Got to fit those nappies in somewhere. And that's being held in my Totes A Go-Go knitting bag, and that's the bag there. Look at it, isn't it perfect? It's bunnies and sheep, and it's got this little bag here. It's lined with just a pink, plain pink lining, which is totally on brand for me. I like pink. Yeah, it's lovely. I keep taking it into work. Sorry for the bunny fluff. You know me by now. There's bunny fluff attached to anything, everything. And I've been taking it into work, and I've had so many compliments on it. And I've directed people to her shop. However, lots of my customers don't like computers and shopping online, so I don't really know how many sales I've pushed her way. I hope some though, I hope few, because her bags are so incredibly well made. So I very much highly recommend you go over and visit their shop. chuck that on the sofa. And the last thing I've been working on is crochet. I've brought out my... knocking the table there. I think that might have been Finn actually flopping onto the table. So the next... Whoops, let's get rid of the secret sauce. So the next project I've been working on is crochet. I couldn't knit. It was literally couldn't. I just couldn't look at my knitting for so long. I was getting so fed up with it. And I think in that third lockdown in the UK, in sort of like the first 3 months of the year, I did so much knitting because it was so grey outside. I couldn't go out and enjoy the walks like I normally did in the other lockdowns. So I was knitting, and I burnt myself out on it so much. So when I went back to work, and because I work in a wool shop, it wasn't quite the break from it that I would have got had I had any other kind of job, you know. So I just burnt myself out on my knitting and couldn't look at it for a long time. So eventually I sort of thought, haven't done crochet in a very long time. Maybe I should try doing some of that. And it was the thing to get me back in the mood. So I picked up from work. It's a little bit rough and worn now, but you can still get the gist. It's fine. It's a Janie Crow pattern. I'm sure all you crocheters know the name Janie Crow. She's massive and a very talented designer. And I'm making her Persian tiles blanket, which is this one here. It's incredible, and her patterns, even if you're a beginner, her patterns are so in-depth and they are incredibly well detailed, incredibly well explained. They're not complicated stitches at all. They're just put in a really unique way. And if you are even a beginner crocheter, I highly recommend her patterns for something a little bit more like adventurous, beginner to intermediate. Because she couldn't have explained it any better. And for someone who... I love crochet and I can crochet, and I'm quite... is prolific the right word? I'm a good crocheter, I know how to do it. But I haven't done it in a long time, so I had to remind myself a lot of the terms. She's got a chart in here to convert UK stitches to US stitches. It says on the front of the pattern if it's a UK or US pattern, because obviously the stitch names will be different. It's just she's a really good designer. She's a really I'd highly recommend her patterns, and she has her own website, so you do not have to use Ravelry for her patterns. So last but not least on the making front, I've been working on this pattern, but I'm obviously doing it in different colours, because why would I use the colours suggested? That's not me at all. And I'm doing it in the colours of my living room, which is sort of greys. There's some gold, yellows, some lots of like deep red. So without further ado, here is one of the completed tiles. Now I've only done this type of tile, so I'm not really going to go and show you every single one of them. But I love the colours, the way they've worked out together. And I've got to make quite a few of these. I've got a little bundle here going, but it's by no means anywhere near what I need to finish. But I'm not... I was always very much... Oh, there's a tile I haven't finished there. Because you know what I'll be doing tonight. I'm not pressuring myself with it, and I think that's what I was doing. I was sort of going, oh, I've got to finish, I've got to show something on the podcast, I've got to show something on the podcast, and that's entirely my fault. At no point have you guys ever pressured me. I've only ever put pressure on myself. And this is like when I started this podcast, I was like, no, I'm not going to be one of those people that pressures myself to finish projects. And it immediately happened. So with this, it's sort of pick it up and do a little bit when I feel like it, and there is no pressure to finish. So you might not see a finished blanket for a long time, but I'm enjoying working on it and I'm enjoying the process. And isn't that why we knit and crochet anyway? So, can I say that word any more times? Really, that is honestly it for what I've been working on. I just haven't had it in me. I've been coming home and just like lying on the couch like, because being in lockdown made me so, I don't want to lazy Sunday. That was the vibe for the whole of the third lockdown, and going back to work was a very hard transition for me. Second lockdown was like so short that it didn't really affect me. And the first lockdown I was really good at, like, because the weather was nice, I was going on lots of walks, I was doing lots of yoga, and like I kept active. So when I came back to work, it wasn't so physically demanding because I was still an active person. But the third lockdown, all I did was sit down and knit or like for 3 months. So when I went back to work, I was dead and I couldn't, like, it hurt my body because I suffer with, for any of you in the Spoonie community, I suffer with some chronic pain because of a disability in my right arm. And it's, when I push myself too far physically, which is easy to do when you feel great and you think, oh, I can do more, and then you stop and it hurts, like head to toe pain. Nothing I can't handle, like, it's been my whole life, so I'm used to it, which I shouldn't, but you know, whatever. And that's it, the Spoonie community. I haven't had the spoons to do my craft when I get home after work because I'm too tired to do it mentally and physically. Like, I can't hold up my arms to do my knitting. So I've just been taking it easy, and that's inevitably resulted in me not having anything to show you guys. But I have come up with some ideas for the future when this inevitably happens again. So I'm not leaving you hanging for so long again, because I am sorry that I wasn't here and talking to you all, and I have very much missed you, so I don't want to leave it this long again if I can help it. But I make no promises because Spoonie. Little bit of an update. Since I've seen you again, caught up with all the friends and family that I have very dearly missed through lockdowns. Went to Birmingham and caught up with like everyone in the space of a weekend, and that was exhausting, but very exhausting physically, mentally very fulfilling. And I went to Glasgow last weekend. You might have seen the knitted bench on my podcast. That was in Glasgow Botanic Gardens. That was so beautiful in there. We went to Glasgow for a dear friend Vicky's birthday. Her 30th, and it's something we've been talking about for a while, so to finally get it done was incredible and lovely and very, very much needed again. And I'm feeling totally revived from last weekend, but very tired as well. I have spoken to, I just want to mention, just offhand, I spoke to my friend Trina and James, and they're James's dad, Tim, apparently is watching my podcast now. So hello, Tim, if you're watching. And I wanted to tell the story of when we all went to see Blondie at Eden Project, and this was pre-2020. This was like a long time ago, but I've never lived it down. We went to see Blondie, and then at the end of it, obviously, like, James and Trina, like, they're a couple, and like they hug James's dad because they're the family, and that's it. And I'm just sort of like, step back and, like, you know, don't intrude, be polite. And then Tim goes, do you want to cuddle? Do you want to hug? And me, being the loser that I am, Proud loser, by the way. That is not self-deprecating, that is a badge of honour. I went, yeah! I opened my arms like, yeah, love, cuddles. And everyone just laughed. Everyone burst out laughing, and I had the giggles the entire way home. It was so funny. And now every time I see Tim, he goes, yeah, to me. So Tim, if you are watching, that story is for you. And Tim has the most fantastic garden ever. It's amazing. And he took me on a little garden tour, and it was awesome. I loved it. And then what else have I got to report? Not much else really. I've just been drinking a lot, which I don't usually do, but all we can really do now is like go out to pubs and see people sort of outside of our homes. So I've been drinking more than I usually do, and I'm not used to it. I'm just going to click pause and then come back in a minute. Hello, it's a bit easier to sort of like transfer, media across from phone to laptop if I don't record like massive long videos, so sorry if I'm a little bit like manic, but I'm feeling quite like full up energy wise for like the first time in ages, and I'm sort of like bouncing about and I don't really know how to do it, how to deal with it. So not much else to report apart from some very exciting news, which I'm going to share with you all now. So bear with me, I will be back in a moment. So for about a year now, I have been begging Matty for a cat, and he's very smartly and wisely said that it's not really the right time for us. However, recently he changed his tune. So I would like to introduce you to little Eclipsa. We got her on Monday this week. It's 99% of the reason I'm filming a podcast today. She's very sweet and cuddly. She's been a little bit manic and crazy today and playful. She's not very fond of me talking to you all, I think. Finn absolutely loves her. She absolutely loves Finn.
Do you mind? I'm trying to introduce you, baby girl.
She's going to attack me now. I've just woke her up, so I've made her grumpy. Yeah, they're so in love. All she wants to do though is play with Finn, and Finn's not really a play type of... Bunnies don't really play with other animals. They sort of... Well, Finn especially, all he does is sort of like sleep and eat, and he's quite happy to do that. But she likes his ears. She keeps batting his ears, and I love her so much. Do you think how cute she is? So her name's Eclipsa. She's named after a character in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. It's on Disney Plus. It's a cartoon. It's a kids' cartoon. Very Adventure Time vibes, which Finn is called Finn after Finn from Adventure Time. So they're both cartoon characters, and they are cartoon characters. And I love her so much. Look how cute she is. So I haven't shared her all week. I've been really do you mind? I've been really restrained. I've wanted to just All I've wanted to do is share pictures of her face all day, every day. And she's biting me, and I haven't. So, hey, kitty! Hey, kitty! Hey! So, at the end of this, there's going to be lots of footage that I've taken of her and of Finn. So, because I know you all love Finn, but you'll all get to see her and get to... Ow! But you... Okay. And she's gone. She's mad at me, I think, because this chair that I sit on, this like wooden chair, fun little like backstory to it. When we moved into this house that we're in now, we had zero furniture, and because we went from fully furnished to fully unfurnished, so we had to start from scratch. And the neighbour, the lady that lives next door to us, very kindly gifted us this chair because she'd recently lost her cat, and her cat loved this chair, and she just couldn't like hold on to it anymore. It made her quite sad, so she gave this to us to sort of get us started, and I love it so much. You'll notice it's grey now, not green. We didn't get it reupholstered. I don't have the money to do that. So I just bought one of those like stretchy covers for it, and I love it. It's like velvety grey, perfect. But since we've got Eclipsa, she totally loves this chair. It's totally her chair. So I've told the neighbour, I did, hey, do you mind? She's playing with tassels on cushions, which all of my tassels on my cushions are ruined now because she loves them so much. So the neighbour knows that it's still cat chair, but however, now I'm sat in it, she's not too pleased with me sitting in her chair. And she's perfect. She's exactly the right fit for us. She's settled in so quickly. I'm so happy. And she's already grown in like a week, which like I love to see her grow, but also I'm very sad because I want her to stay tiny forever. And that's the biggest news really. We've got a cat now and I'm totally in love with her, and she's definitely going to be a staple for the podcast. Hey baby, come say hi one more time. Hey. And here she is one last time. You show her? She loves to be handled. She loves a cuddle. What are you looking at? The smoke from the incense. I've checked all my incense and my plants are safe for her. Any that aren't, the incense has been thrown away. The plants are in rooms where she doesn't go. You looking at the smoke? Is it freaking you out? She's got a very gentle stripe running through her black fur. Hello, princess. And she's scruffy. She's really scruffy. She's always covered in dust and stuff because she goes in all the nooks and crannies because she's so teeny. Yes. Okay, you can get down. And she attacks for no reason. She's because she's a cat. Of course she does. She's fine, and then she's suddenly like. That's it. I really don't. I got no shop updates. I've got no shop updates. No more news to report. I'm really sorry it's been so long in between podcasts. I'm really sorry that this hasn't been the most exciting in terms of craft. It is what it is. My mojo's coming back slowly. I'm just taking it easy. I'm looking after myself. In full disclosure, you will have seen on my Instagram, I've started therapy. I'm not really going to go into what I talk about there, but I do, as you know, like to be open about mental health, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time and haven't had the means to. I'm very kindly receiving some help to do that from parents. From my parents, so that is, I'm incredibly privileged to have them help me, and because I know, Mom, that you will be watching, so thank you. And I've only had one session with her, but I already know she's totally, she fits. So I'm on the mend, and it's been about 6 months of medication now, and they're starting to kick in. I feel like things are starting to level out for me, so hopefully we'll be on the up and at 'em. We'll be on the up from now on. But if not, it's fine. I have noticed that the few times that I get low and sad now, when I get sort of, I have noticed that when my low mood and my anxiety kicks in now, because I don't think it will, I've come to the realisation that that will never go, but I'm much better now at not just diving headfirst into a spiral. I sort of catch myself a lot earlier now, and that's kind of massive. So, because what I think I used to do is dive in head first, but I didn't know I was diving in head first. I'd convince myself that I was fine. I'm alright, no, I'm fine, because you just you numb and you turn your feelings off. And I'm sure there's lots of you out there that can sort of relate to that. Like, no, I'm fine, I'm alright, I'm strong, I'll keep going, keep plodding on, just, yeah, I'm alright, I'm fine, plodding on as you do, blah, blah, blah. And you convince yourself that that's normal, and then you crash because you can't keep that up mentally. It's too draining, it's too tiring. So now I'm working on healing instead of ignoring, which is a lot easier said than done. But we're working on it and we're heading in the right direction. So I hope you're all doing very well. Please let me know how you're doing in the comments or privately if you don't want to reach out publicly. My DMs are always open for a little chit chat, and look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, but that really starts with how you treat yourself. It's hard to be nice to people when you're not even nice to yourself. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the short podcast. Hopefully I'll have more to show you next time. Click there if you liked the podcast, give it a like. If you didn't, I mean, you can dislike it, but it doesn't really do anything to help me improve this platform that I'm trying to build, this community that I'm trying to build. Comment, tell me what you're up to, tell me how you're feeling, reach out to me, reach out to friends, and if you like my crazy ramblings and want to see more kitten content, please click subscribe, and you'll get a notification when I do post again, because I will continue posting, hopefully more regularly.